I'm an excellent teacher for children, but I will not do it. No, 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 no.
Welcome to City English. I'm Cherry. City, C.I.T.Y, stands for Can I Teach You? Can I teach you has two meanings. One meaning is permission. May I teach you? Is it okay with you? The other meaning is ability. Can I teach you? Do I have the skills? Welcome to City English.
Hello and welcome back to my classroom. The reason we're in my classroom is today we're going to talk about education. A little bit about education in America, a little bit about education in Korea, a little about my feeling as an English teacher. So we're going to talk about that today. Before we get started, please like this video and subscribe. So, as many of you know, my job in America was related to social work, and I specifically worked with children who had attendance issues, meaning they didn't go to school. So every year I had between 250 to 300 students that I had to work with. And some of them missed 5 days. So the American school year is 180 days. So some of them missed 5 days, some of them missed 80 days, some of them missed years of school. And my job was to go in there and find out the problem, have meetings, do home visits, talk to parents, take them to court. I worked on average, I worked in about 40 different schools. So I would have a certain school district, and within that school district, I would have many different schools: elementary, middle school, high school. And based on the location, I could usually figure out what was wrong with the child. Some children were parentified, meaning that even though they were the children in the family, they acted like the adult. And so they had a lot of responsibility and had a lot of problems, just a lot of problems. There were depression issues, divorce issues, learning disability issues. Children have so many issues, which is why I have no children. So one of the reasons I came to Korea is that I wanted to figure out why Korean students attend school so consistently and why they have such a high graduation rate and why so many Koreans go to college. So my plan was to come to Korea, figure out what's working in Korea, and take it back home to America and fix the problem. As you can see, I am still in Korea. I am not in America. I didn't fix anything. And the reason I didn't fix anything is because it's a cultural difference. The way that parents and children and the society think about school is very different. The goals are also very different. And I was reflecting on this now that there are issues in the Korean education system. So, my father was a high school teacher. My grandmother was a special ed teacher. My grandfather was a university professor. My mother works in the school system as a secretary. My aunt works in the school system. One of the reasons I'm in Korea teaching English is because my uncle was an English teacher in Japan. So I come from a family of teachers where education is very important and very critical. And one of the reasons why my dad left teaching is because the children in America are so disrespectful and the parents are really detached. And that does depend on the neighborhood, on the demographics, on the economics. So different people have a different attitude towards school. So now with the issue with teachers being disrespected in Korea, I'm starting to feel like whatever made America the way it is, it's happening in Korea, but in a different way. So I mentioned that my dad was disrespected by his students, but Korean parents are unfortunately being disrespectful to teachers. Someone's being disrespectful. It's just who's being disrespectful is different. When I came to Korea, I did teach children. So I taught children for about 2.5 years. And I've had friends say, "Oh, Cherry, you should teach children. You'd be a good teacher for children." I'm an excellent teacher for children, but I will not do it. No, 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 no. So there are very specific reasons why I don't teach children. The first reason I don't teach children is because I feel a lot of guilt if children don't learn. If adults don't learn, it is because they are not putting forth the extra effort to study. It is because it's not really that important to them. To me, if an adult isn't learning English, even though I'm trying and I'm doing my best as a teacher, it's not my fault. But when children don't learn, it means that my class maybe isn't engaging. I'm not explaining something well. They're not connecting with me. So I feel a lot more guilt when my children don't learn. Even if it's not my fault, I just feel very guilty. The second reason is children hagwon hop. And so my friend was going to this hagwon, but now my friend goes to that hagwon, so I want to go to that hagwon. And so every time I would lose a junior student, even if it wasn't my fault, I felt guilt about it. I felt sad. Like, I feel that way when I lose adult students. Like when my adult students refund or go missing, it is so stressful for me. Now as director, when my students, any students refund, I'm like, oh my God, what did we do? Why, what's wrong? Is there a problem? Do I need to fix it? What can I fix, please? So I feel like it's a huge emotional burden. So the reasons I don't teach children are, one, emotionally, I just feel more stressed teaching children because I feel more responsibility. But the big reason is the parents. Sometimes the parents are not realistic. They're not realistic about what their child can do or what their child should be able to do. And they put a huge burden on the child and the teacher. So I've often told this story about how I had one mom. Her daughter was like 8 or 9 years old. Amazing English. Her English was spectacular, but she spoke like an 8-year-old. And the mother was like, you need to teach her modal verbs, should, would, could, because she needs to speak like I saw on television. Your 8-year-old child needs to speak like an 8-year-old, not like a 14-year-old. They're not the same. So not only in English, because not only are you affecting their development as a child, because expecting a child to speak as a 14-year-old when they're 8, there's a developmental gap, but also you're putting a huge burden on the child because they're not matching your expectations, which are not rational expectations. And then at the same time, I got in trouble because I have some patterns. So as an American, I say okay a lot, or I do this, or I say so. And she said, could you stop saying okay so much, because my daughter says okay like you. Oh, good. She speaks like an American. If you don't want her to speak like me, then I don't need to be her teacher, because I'm going to speak how I speak, because I'm an American and that's how I speak. And that is my voice. And if you say this to me one more time, I'm going to fight you in the face. And so, because I cannot fight parents in the face, I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I can't, because my past as a social worker meant that my interest, my heart, my feelings are always with the child. Is the child stressed? If the child is stressed, we're going to do less. Is the child tired? If the child's tired, we're going to balance that out. Is the child depressed? If the child's depressed, we're going to balance that out. The child is my number one priority. Your goals for your child are not my priority, because I'm not going to risk your child becoming depressed or lethargic or angry because of your expectations that were not rational to begin with, because you want your child to be in a special school. I'm not. And that is why I teach adults. Hi! So yeah, it's very hard for me. So now with the issues that are happening in Korean schools, I understand the intention of the parents. Like, I really do. I understand that your child is your world. I understand that they are your heart, and your child's best interest is your goal. But at the same time, that teacher has 20 other children's best interest in their heart. And so don't yell at my child. But your child hit somebody. Yeah, but don't say that way. But the balance is difficult. So my mother has always said, become a teacher. And I say, no, can't do it. Can't. Oh, teacher for children. Can't do it. I can't. I'm not strong enough. I am not strong enough. I am too sensitive. And nope. So nowadays, as I wonder about the future, like some people have said, go back to teaching children, because teaching adults, I absolutely love teaching adults. I really do. But the adult market is changing, and I don't know. So I have a lot of feelings and a lot of empathy for the teachers in Korea, because it is just, I think when you are a parent, you're focused on your 1 or 2 or 3 children. And when you're a teacher, you're focused on your 15, 16, 17 children. And it's hard to balance what each and every parent wants. So you get a call from one parent, and then you get a call from another parent, and then you're on the phone with 15 parents, because their world is their world. And that's perfectly okay. But sometimes when they're focused on their world, they forget that your other students' parents are equally focused on their world. So there's a balance issue. I don't know what the solution is, but I think things are going to change in Korea. I think things have to change in Korea, and I think maybe every parent needs to go into school for a day and try to be a teacher, because it's not easy. It really isn't. Okay, bye.